Welcome to History at Heathcote School, and today I'm going to go through some of the reasons as to why you should study history at Heathcote. So the first thing I want to go through is why history is such an attractive qualification to employers. So if you decide to study history at university as a result of doing a history A-level, you can do the following. So for example, you can be a teacher, a lecturer, you could be a historical researcher, a museum creator or a genealogist. These are just some of the amazing jobs that you could do. If you decide not to continue doing history at university, history is still a very attractive qualification. It gives you a lot of skills, analysis, critical thinking that employers appreciate. A big example of what you can do is if you want to study law, you can do a law conversion course, which again, employers really appreciate having that history background. Marketing, business management, finance, advertising and journalism are again a lot of jobs where employers really value having an historical qualification.
Now let's take a look at some of our Year 12 pupils.
Hi, my name's Maisie and I study history at A-level at Heathcote School. I originally knew I was going to pick history at A-level because I enjoyed it so much at GCSE. And when I found out the course content such as Stalin and Mao's China, I was even more persuaded to pick it at A-level. In history at Heathcote, I feel really supported. I know if I have any questions, I can always come to my teachers. Another aspect of history I really like is analysing sources, because you get to see real life memoirs of people who actually lived in historical events. So yeah, come to Heathcote and do history.
Hi, I'm Regan. I study history at A-level at Heathcote School. I chose history because it was really interesting. At GCSE, it captivated me with the lessons, and then learning at A-level, just learning about real personalities like Stalin, Mao, in China and in Russia is very interesting, and it's quite helpful because they both go quite well together. So when you learn about one, it helps you learn about the other. Also the teachers, I like both the teachers at A-level.
I'm Jamal Hill. I study history at Heathcote School, and I picked it because it's like a real life documentary, watching pieces of life come together like it was a Netflix series. And I just love the way that countries that were nothing 100 years ago become something and got burst in power and just became a superpower of industry, civilization.
The first thing that we'll study is from Lenin to Yeltsin, where we'll look at the different Soviet leaders and how they've influenced the Soviet Union. So the way that this unit works, it is split into 4 themes. And the first theme is looking at the communist government in the USSR. And through this section of the topic, you will look at how there's been developments within the party and how each of the leaders have reinforced their role and control over the party structure. For theme 2, you'll look at the industrial and agricultural change. And through this, you'll look at all different economic developments that were made under the leaders. You'll look at Stalin's 5-year plans, you'll look at Lenin's economic policy, and you'll evaluate the different changes that were made under each leader. For theme 3, you'll look at the control of the people, and you'll look at how each of the leaders has spread their influence through the secret police, the establishment and development of that, and how they control each of the people through force and propaganda and personality cults. And then finally, for theme 4, you'll look at social developments, where you'll look at the changes for women and housing and education, and look at how each of those leaders have impacted each of those aspects. So, the next thing that you will study is Mao's China. And again, it's very similar in the sense that it's separated into 4 themes, and you will constantly revisit similar periods of time, but looking at a different focus. So for example, in topic 1, you'll look at the establishment of the communist rule, you'll look at the aftermath of the Civil War and the nature of political systems that developed up until 1957. In theme 2, you'll look at the agricultural industry. So again, it's quite similar to Soviet Union, and what's quite good about it is that you can cross-compare, and as they're both communist countries and states, that we can see the different impacts and influence they have on each other. And through theme 2, you look at how the Cultural Revolution was affected and the economic reforms that were introduced by key people. And then in topic 3, you'll look at the Cultural Revolution and its aftermath. So you'll look at the effects of the Cultural Revolution from its destructive anarchy of the early years, and then you'll continue going through to the growing anarchy in the years 1966 to 77. And then finally, you'll look at social and cultural changes, so again, similar to the Soviet Union section, and you'll look at the cultural changes that took place alongside the political and economic developments. So the next topic you'll look at is Britain, losing and gaining an empire, and you'll be looking at several case studies, looking at America, Australia, Canada, India and Egypt, and you'll be looking at how empire has grown during this time period, and also how the empire declined. So for example, in American colonies, you'll look at why Britain colonised America and also what led to the decline. Also running alongside each of these key case studies, you'll be looking at the nature and extent of trade. So throughout the whole of each of these topics that are going on, you'll be looking at how trade has evolved through time. And then you'll also be looking at how Navy has as well. So you're going to be comparing and cross-referencing different areas of trade and industry during this time period. And then the final thing you'll be doing, which is one of the most attractive parts of the course, is that you'll be picking your own topic for coursework. So what's really exciting about this is that if you've ever studied something in history that you found particularly engaging, that you want to revisit, this is your opportunity. So for example, you might have, as I've said, studied something before and you want to revisit it. You might have something that you've studied that has really grabbed your interest. You might have something that particularly affects your family or local area that is particularly personal and that you're passionate about. It could be a chance to look at your local history, or looking at history of another continent, looking at Asia, America or Africa. There are several opportunities for you to study and develop something that interests you. So, for example, what you could do is, students in the past have looked at women's rights and looked at the extent of women gaining the vote due to militancy. You can look at World War I and II, the Cold War, the Holocaust, or Indian independence. There's such a range of things that you can pick from. So the whole point of coursework is that you'll be researching 3 historians that have been discussing a controversial debate. And you will research those historians, and you'll be coming towards your own judgment as to which one that you find the most credible, and just explaining your reasoning for doing so. So that is everything, and I hope to see you at Heathcote soon.